Anytime you have children this old that are not with a caring loved one, I think you have to assume they're in some kind of jeopardy. They're not with their loved ones, so I'm very concerned about their welfare.
Tonight, a desperate race against the clock to find 3 little boys who were feared to be in horrible danger, or worse. The brothers spent Thanksgiving with their dad as part of a court-ordered visitation, and now, tonight, they are missing 3 adorable boys. Dad is a long-haul truck driver. Cops are focusing in like a laser beam on a particular stretch of road. Could the boys have been dumped in an act of revenge? The mother of the 3 boys, Tanya Skelton, is divorcing the boys' dad. In fact, I've got the divorce papers right here in my hand. It's a nasty, nasty divorce, restraining orders, the whole 9 yards. She reported them missing after she came to pick up her kids, and they were nowhere to be found. The father, John Skelton, told cops he gave his 3 sons to a female friend so he could commit suicide, which he conveniently failed to accomplish. Tonight, cops say the dad flat out lied about this mystery woman who may not even exist. Cell phone pings from the dad's cell phone have searchers racing to a campground in Ohio. But when they got there, they found absolutely nothing. And now the search is being called off so cops can regroup. What does it all mean? The dad's mother, the grandmother of these boys, made a desperate plea on Good Morning America for the boys' safe return. Listen to this.
Whether her name's Joanne Taylor or Mary Poppins, it doesn't matter to me. All I know is that these children are with her. I know this. And if she can't bring them home, if she feels for some reason she can't do it, drop them off at a safety house.
But is she making an appeal to somebody who doesn't even exist? Take a good look at these precious children, Andrew, Alexander, and Tanner Skelton. These angelic boys out there somewhere tonight. It's unbelievable. I can't even comprehend this looking at these precious children. They were last seen playing in the backyard of their father's house on Thanksgiving Day. Then missing the next day. What the hell happened to these boys? And did their parents' nasty divorce have anything to do with it? Give me a call, 1-877-JVM-SAYS. That's 1-877-586-7297. Straight out to reporter Mara McDonald from WDIV-TV. She's been tracking this from the beginning. Mara, what is the very latest?
Jane, we're in the command center of the research and rescue effort for these 3 boys. All the searchers have come back in from a day that, quite frankly, has been fruitless. You can see it on their faces. They're tired, they're grim, and what no one out here really wants to say is what everybody is thinking, which is this is going to end horribly. What we know, they have spent the majority of the day across the state line in Ohio searching a campground, as well as an 18-mile stretch of road that leads up to the Ohio Turnpike. Why? Because there was a cell phone ping from Father John Skelton's phone. That's why they are concentrating on that area. And the biggest news of the day comes from the police chief here in Morenci, Michigan. He says that the story that Father John Skelton has been telling this entire time, that he handed his 3 boys over to a woman that he met and had some sort of an online relationship with, is nothing but a lie. This woman probably doesn't even exist. So that is where things stand at this hour. Search resumes at 8 a.m.
Wendy Murphy, former prosecutor, what does it tell you that they called off the search to regroup? And if, in fact, this guy is claiming that he had a relationship with this Joanne Taylor online, couldn't one check at his computer determine whether or not he actually was in communication with a Joanne Taylor and whether she's fiction or not?
Make no mistake about it, Jane. They know whether she's real or not. They know whether he's had any kind of online relationship with anyone named anything. Forget if her name is Joanne or if she, I don't know. The point is, he lied, okay? He lied about his own children, all of them, which means he either feels really bad because he did a terrible thing, or he's trying to cover up what someone else did. Either way, that guy knows the truth. He's not telling, and his 3 children are either dead or at risk. At risk. And why, why did they call off the search? My hope is, but I bet this isn't true because I don't think this guy has much of a conscience. My hope is that he finally said, no, let me tell you the real deal. That's why they called off the search. That's why I hope they called off the search. I'm sad to say that I think what he did was probably not to give them away, sell them even, which is a possibility. Maybe the guy was desperate for money, but that in fact he did something horrible. The divorce was reportedly ugly. Parents sometimes do this when they're vindictive. I'm sorry to say it's not the first case I've heard of. I hope that's not how this case ends, Jane. And my heart is broken for these kids already, no matter what.
Well, I pray. Look at these angels. Oh, I pray they're found alive. But cops say the boy's father made up a story about handing the boys to a woman named Joanne Taylor. And again, cops have blown that theory right out of the water. Listen to what they had to say.
We can confirm that there's no established relationship between he and the person that he described to us as Joanne Taylor.
Does that mean she doesn't exist?
Well, we've received a number of tips into the tip line from citizens that have done research on the internet. You can find a number of Joanne Taylors out there. So to say that a Joanne Taylor doesn't exist would be negligent. What I'm saying is a reported relationship between Mr. Skelton and Joanne Taylor does not exist.
So many of these cases have commonalities. We all remember Casey Anthony initially told investigators that her daughter Kaylee was taken by a nanny named Zanny. Of course, cops believe Zanny does not exist. And by the way, we're going to have an update on this case in just a moment. Got to go to Dr. Dale Archer. This guy is now sequestered in a mental hospital. He said he tried to commit suicide, but of course, conveniently, he only broke his ankle. What do you make of this story about I handed 3 precious children to a woman who may not exist?
Well, obviously, we look first at the divorce, and divorce is a common cause of depression, and when you get depressed in a scenario like that, you start thinking that life is not worth living. And you also think, you know what? My kids would be better off with me than with my ex. And the only way they're going to be with me is if I kill them first, and then I kill them myself. And I will tell you, Jane, that I have been involved in cases like this, and I fear for the worst. I really do.
Yeah, and I got to tell you this. There was a foreshadowing. The dad took the boys to Florida. The mom, Tanya Skelton, reportedly was concerned about her husband's behavior because 2 months ago, he allegedly took these boys to Florida where his parents live without telling her, the mother. Okay, now we are very pleased to have with us tonight Kathy Herrera, who is a spokeswoman for the mother's family. Kathy, what is this mother going through tonight? What does she think happened to her 3 sons?
Well, all I can say is that she is hoping and praying that they are safe and they're being fed and taken care of in this nice cold weather, and that someone who has them is loving them because she misses her babies and she wants to be with them and love them. And unfortunately, sometimes I think things are being focused on everything but the one thing, that these 3 little boys need to come home. And it's a lot of sensationalism and a lot of things that don't have anything to do with that one fact, and that's what the family wants to push.
Well, Kathy, I certainly hope you're right. I hope that these children are safe and sound, and I understand that the mother of these children, even though she was going through a divorce from the father, who was the last person to see them before they disappeared, who claims to have given them to some mystery woman who may not exist, doesn't believe that this dad has the capacity to hurt the children. Tell us about that.
I don't believe I heard that.
Well, that was in news reports. So you're saying that perhaps she is concerned, given the fact that he took off with them once before and took them down to Florida without her permission?
Taking the children, and he didn't need permission because he was their father at the time, now that she has custody. And so it's a whole different situation, and mother, their relationship and what happened, that's I don't think has to be discussed.
All right, well, let me bring in Mara McDonald, reporter WDIV. Tell us about Ping's possible sightings of his car.
Jane, what we're hearing, at least from sources within this investigation, is that a ping came from his cell phone across the border. We're in Michigan, in the Ohio, maybe 15 miles away from where we are right now. They are searching an 18-mile stretch of road. They searched a campground today, which is around where this ping from that cell phone came in. What we have learned, and there is one witness who has seen these children Thanksgiving Day in the afternoon, say around between 2 to 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon. After that, there is no outside corroborating witness who says anything. So, police are taking a look at that timeline from Thursday to Friday evening. They have a ping from his cell phone between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. on Friday in that general area along Kunkel, Holiday, those areas of Ohio. That's what they're taking a look at. That's where they've had volunteer firefighters as well as FBI agents out all day going through the ditches.
Between 4 a.m. and 7
areas.
a.m.? Why is anybody out in the middle of nowhere between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m.?
Your guess is as good as mine.
All right, everybody, stay right where you are. We're taking your calls on this. I know Christine in North Carolina, stay there. We'll get to you in a moment on the other side of the break.
I hope they find these babies.